When I first heard about attachment patterns and personality traits and how it affects relationship, I was like, oh, I need to understand this more from you because you are an expert in this field. And they say these two things I talk about, personality traits and patterns, help can affect relationship and
Yeah.
yeah. So please, can you tell us in simple English so we understand this because it's important to know how to, know this thing to help in
Okay,
relationship.
so
Yeah.
in simple English,
Mm-hmm.
personality traits is your character. That's your permanent setting.
Okay.
It's who you are at every point in time. Attachment patterns, on the other hand, are the things you developed from childhood as to how you relate with your parents, your siblings, your friends, and then as you became an adult, your partner. So, your personality traits combined with your attachment pattern can determine the pace of your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many, like we have examples.
Okay.
Um, but basically, I'm not going to talk about the five personality traits because they can be really confusing.
Mm.
But understand that personality traits is who you are.
Okay. All right.
It's permanent. It's you. Attachment patterns, on the other hand, it's what you keep growing into or learning as you grow older or depends on the type of relationship. So, sibling relationship, your attachment pattern can be different. That relationship with your partner, it can be different. But we have four attachment patterns, and like we're trying to speak earlier before we started, I was saying that there are times when you can display all four,
Okay.
but the degree to which you display them is different. And there are times when there are things you will do. Remember, it's attachment patterns. So we're talking about things that you're currently doing, as regards to your relationship, and be like, let me be this. I thought I was this. That's because it has to do with this person. Your attachment pattern changed or switched or the tempo. So we have four and we have the secure. Now, every adult to tell you, oh, I'm secure, nothing moves me, I'm confident. Wait until something shakes you. And then we have the anxious. So the anxious are those people who you were trying to tell me something, and that was actually the anxious personality trait where
Mm.
every switch in the way your partner behaves, you think something.
Yes.
What was going on? Have I offended you? Are you okay? Are you sure? This one you've not spoken. I sent you a message. You haven't said hi. You have not checked your WhatsApp in 2 days. I sent you a good morning. What you think something is wrong at every point in time. Are you right? You might be, but most times you're not. You're just panicking over what is not even happening. And then we have the avoidance. Now, you can be secure and still be an avoidant. So, the avoidant are those people who avoid, if this thing is going to cause issues between me and this person, we better not talk about it. If this thing is going to make this person see me in a bad light, we will not talk about it. Oh, I know that what I did not do it right, and this person is trying to ask me a question. I will not talk about it. So we tend to run away and avoid certain conversations, certain scenarios. It can even get to the point where your partner is cheating on you openly.
We are scared to confront.
Open. The person has told you, I don't want you. And you're like, what is it now? Just, I will try to be a better person for you. And then the person is emotionally abusing you or even physically abusing you or even openly cheating. Like, he will change, she will change. You start looking at we've been together for 8 years, 10 years, 15 years. Where do I start from? No, you don't avoid issues that are really, really serious. You don't avoid issues that are important. So people who avoid it, and most times it's because um being on their own can be scary. So they prefer to be in this relationship and just avoid all of the red flags than being alone.
Mm.
Hey, we haven't been intimate in 10 months, in 1 year. Hey, boy, it's fine. Hey, don't worry, we'll get over it. We're just going through a phase. How long is that phase going to last before your eyes will be opened? Oh, we barely talk. It's just hello, hi, good morning. How long is that phase going to last? You just keep avoiding whatever is the issue. And then we have the disorganized.
Mm.
These ones are a mix of craving and fearing love. So these are the people who blow hot and cold. That's what we generally like to call them. So they want to be loved, they want to be in your space. And then you try to show them that love, and they are now scared. They are running away. And it can confuse your partner.
Mixed signals.
Hot and cold. Choose a stand. Where are you? Now, I also said that you can exhibit any of these attachment patterns from time to time,
Mm.
but you need to know the one that is actually yours. It's good to be secure. Don't get me wrong, it's good to be secure. It's also good to avoid, but you cannot keep avoiding things that would damage your relationship.
Mm.
So, there are times when a partner is doing something and you keep talking about that thing. You see this particular thing. I didn't like the way you spoke to me in public. You belittled me in front of people. I mean, I'm supposed to be your partner. You're supposed to have my back. I felt you didn't have my back. And your partner says, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see it in that light. Next time I won't do it. And then the next time he or she does it. So you keep talking. And then after a while, you go into the avoidant personality attachment pattern. And then you're like, I go talk now. It will not make any difference. So let me just avoid.
Right.
But that type of avoidance is detrimental to the health of that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's going to happen one day is there's going to be an explosion. You see that cup is going to get full. And then when it gets full, people will now wonder, are you mad? What's wrong with you? Why are you all of a sudden behaving like a mad person? It's because you have avoided something that you should have talked about for so long. You've been bottling up the feelings, bottling up the disappointment, bottling up the pain, the hatred, and then one day, poof, you explode. So all of these things affect how we behave in a relationship.
Okay. Our viewers, this episode is not just to criticize you, it's for you to find out the patterns that is really a struggle in your relationship.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I need to ask you some questions that I jotted down so I won't forget, which
Okay.
is quite important and some people talked about or asked rather on the internet. It goes thus: what are the different ways people form emotional connection and how do these patterns affect love and friendship as adults? That's one person's question.
Okay. So again, I'll go back to personality traits and attachment patterns. Your personality traits are what you're born with. Those ones are permanent in you. And personality traits are, we have 5 of them that are really big. So I'll just quickly name them so we can have an idea since we already know what attachment patterns are. So we have the open to experience. We have the conscientiousness, we have the agreeableness, we have the neuroticism, and the extraversion. Now, all of these things are like big, big English. So I'm just going to define them one after the other. So the open to experience are called the openness. These are people who crave new things. They like to learn. They're like, there's an experience and they're like, I'm there. There's this new spot, I'm there. Oh, your partner is behaving a particular way. You
Mm.
go and read a book on why is my partner I want to understand my partner more.
Mm.
They are open to learning new things. Now, this person, in the case of um, attachment patterns, would not dwell in the avoidance stage because they are open to learning new things. Once their partner does something, they try to figure out why, and they try to have a talk and say, look, I don't want us to avoid this thing. This is what you did. And this is my own understanding of why I think you did what you did. But why do you think you did what you did? Do you understand what I just
Yes,
did there?
yes, yes, exactly.
They studied why they think their partner acted that way,
Mm-hmm.
but they did not just assume. They went ahead to tell the partner, sit down, we're not going to avoid this topic. We're going to talk about it. This is my own idea. But I mean, I'm not you. So why don't you tell me why you acted the way you did? And then we can now come to an agreeable solution to say, oh, okay, this is right, this is wrong, or oh, I should have done it this way and I should have done it that way. Now, we now have the conscientiousness. Now, the conscientiousness is how reliable are you? How organized are you? We have people who even their thoughts are so disorganized. They cannot be relied for in anything. There's nothing their partner is doing that the partner can say, you see this woman, you see this man. I know that if I put a call to them right now, not only would they solve this issue, but they will show up. These are people who brain work. Like I said, they're organized. So a partner has a challenge with something. That partner can go to his or her friends, family members, but they know that they have a partner. That even if this challenge is not in what they are like their sphere of work or something, if I bring this challenge home,
Problem solved.
she can open up my eyes to see it from a different perspective, no bias. She's not going to say, because it's me, it should have been done this way. No, she's going to say, well, this is how can you give me a few days to think about it? Or, okay, are we actively talking about it now? Okay, did you look at it from this aspect? Did you look at it from this aspect? What do you think about this? What do you think about it? So they sort of make their partners better, so to speak, because every time their partner goes to them, the partner leaves away with something substantial, something good. Now, these are the people who are organized and reliable, but conscientiousness just means how organized and reliable are you? So there is a scale. You can be at a 10, you can be at a 1, but you have to be organized and reliable. And then we have the extroversion. So these are people who um, are energized by people around them.
So they tap into people's energy more like it.
And so they curate the people that are around them because they get charged, they get energized from the energies around. They are extroverts. You know, we talk about or rather, we know about introverts and extroverts. So extroverts are so you see, we always seem to think extroverts are people who are the happening of the party, the vibe, jumping from one place to another. Sometimes they can just be sitting there in one place, but tapping from all of the energies around them. Now, how they carry this energy into a relationship matters. Because if they carry a negative energy can be hyper. It doesn't mean that it has to be quiet. And then they take it into their relationship. And then their partner gets to suffer because they are coming from somewhere where they have tapped the wrong kind of energy and they are bringing it into their relationship. And then we have the agreeableness. So, these people are people who, so it's a scale of, do you want to be right or do you want us to be fine?
You want to be right, you want us to be fine. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm trying to
Do you
understand.
prioritize peace over being right or harmony over being right?
Okay.
When you are having a discussion and it goes into um an argument, do you prioritize peace over being right? We're not saying you should all the time, but we're saying how agreeable are you to the context of which you people are discussing that moment, which is most important in that moment. Peace, harmony, or being right. You need to be able to choose. As opposed to just arguing and before you know it turns into a full-blown fight where you people don't even get to talk to each other. If someone asks you weeks down the line, what actually caused that argument? You can't put a finger to it. So we ask, how agreeable are you? How much do you prioritize peace, harmony over being right? And then the neuroticism, these are people who, how easily do you get triggered or stressed? There are people who get triggered over the most minute things. There are people who get stressed over the most minute things. But all of these things, how does it affect you? Now, how it affects you is how it will translate to the attachment pattern. Because if you're easily triggered, if you easily fall under stress, then you always want to avoid anything that will trigger you and anything that will make you stressed.
Hmm. Okay, I have two more questions for you.
Okay.
One is for our audience to ask the question, and the other one is for you, advising people that have these traits and they can't help themselves but need help. So the other one goes, how do our personality traits shape the way we act and react in relationship? I know you mentioned a little bit about personality traits,
Yeah.
but can you just answer that?
Okay, so personality traits are, like I said, your permanent settings. This is how you were born, so it's your character.
Mm.
Um, how do you relate to the world around you? It's not specific now to a particular person. How do you relate to the world around you? So your personality traits really matters because if you were, and then also the personality traits of your parents, because I mean you were born into a home, hopefully. You're born into a home, so you had a father figure, a mother figure. What were the personality traits that they carried that you have now carried? There are people who you just see them and you just see independence, you see structure, you see people who are, you know, they know themselves. And then you be like, oh, I really want to be like this person. That is their personality trait, is where they are coming from. So that has shaped them. And so even when they get into a relationship that um again, not everybody comes from the same home. So they get into a relationship with someone whose background gave them a different personality trait from you're not going to panic. That relationship is not going to suffer. Instead, you're going to look for the good in their personality trait, build on it, and then both of you can now find your weaknesses and then walk around it. So it's not set in stone. It's not this is who I am. I cannot change. I cannot also date anybody who is not like me. No, we are all different. And in fact, the diversity can even make the relationship sweeter because it means that if I'm always a structured person, I can actually come to someone and say, look, I don't want to be structured today. Please, I just want to be taken care of. I don't want to be organized today. Please, can you just take this burden off me? So we can switch, but we can also rely on each other.
Lastly, what about those people that struggle? Like, look, I want to trust my guy, I want to trust my girlfriend, but each time I go on that path, I keep on falling. I have this anxiety. I can trust. I have what you said. One person can have, someone can have like
You can
four
have all four,
patterns, so, but
yes.
the person needs help. I really genuinely need help, but I find myself falling each time. How can you address that
Okay,
person?
and
Talk
that's
about that.
why that's why you need therapy. Because therapy helps you to understand better why you act the way you do. It's good to read books, honestly. It's good to go to the internet and browse. But other than that, I prefer you sit one on one with someone who is licensed to coach you on understanding your personality traits and your current attachment pattern. And then understanding the dynamic of the relationship you're currently in and knowing whether that anxiousness that you feel, the way you feel, it's just from you or what your partner is projecting onto you. Because if you're an extrovert, if you have the extroversion, it also means that whatever your partner projects to you is what you collect. And so sometimes that anxiousness that you feel might not even be yours. It might just be what's projected onto you. But until you meet with a therapist who sits you down through several sessions, because it's not a one session, thing, you would not understand exactly where the challenge is. But there are solutions to it. There are practical examples that would give. There are practical things we would ask you to do, and then we'll generally gauge your progress over time. Someone asked, I saw a post on someone's status yesterday, and he said, he just wrote, how do you get your spark after you've lost it? And I just casually answered. And little did I know that he was the one going through losing his spark. And then he said, look, I have to be open. It's me. And I said, okay, find time and let's talk. But what I've said is what you can do. But beyond that, there are other things because I just answered, generally. So your personality traits and your attachment patterns will determine the success or failure of your relationship. But you can get help if you need help. We are here for you.
Like we mentioned, this episode is not just to fault you, but for you to know the pattern, the
Yeah.
attachment pattern, so you can navigate your relationship, better to stay your relationship. I hope this episode touched you. You can reach Delicious on our page.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't do it on our own. We like I mentioned earlier before I zone out, I had that anxiety thing before. Not until I read books and spoke to people like you, I was able to find myself and navigate my relationships. Until next time, stay blessed and remember you're not alone. Take care.